Hi guys, welcome to my body transformation video. It's going to take you through the history of how I started training, what my goals were, what my motivations were and how I got to where I am now. So let's dive in. So I've always boxed since I was a wee boy, but didn't start weightlifting until I was 21. There was a gym at my work, so I thought, well, I want to get a bit bigger. I was kind of obsessed with bulking up at that point, so I was like, I'm going to use this gym for all it's worth. Like, I'm going to go, every day after work and I'm just going to pack on as much size as possible. At that point, I was like 11 stone, or like 150 pounds, 154 pounds, if you're watching in America. And so that seemed quite far off at that point. Like, I know now, obviously, reasonably big, so it seems like that's not a huge deal, but at the time, I wanted to put on at least 3, 4, 5 stone. I ended up putting on 4 in a year, which is obviously about £60, just over 4 stone, so about £60. I didn't really overcomplicate it, so my goal at that time, I didn't really judge it off, how many calories per or pound of body weight, anything like that. I just went 3,000 calories was my initial target. I'm going to do 3,000 calories a day and I'm going to hit 220 grams of protein a day. That's what I thought. I'd heard that you had to do about 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight, so I thought that's about right. So 220 grams of protein I'm weighing for 3,000 calories, and I thought when I stop putting on weight, the calories will just go up. And I didn't overcomplicate it with training. I'd seen all these things about, do incline bench to hit upper chest and all that, but I knew at the end of the day, ultimately with training, if you want to put on size or make progress, it's just volume. So, doing 10 times 80 kilograms is better than doing 5 times 100. 5 times 100 is 500, 10 times 80 is 800. So, it's not always about the maximum weight, it's about the most volume. So I just done volume, so I done basic exercises. I'd do bench, pull-ups, squats, all the basic stuff, and I didn't do a whole lot of variation on them. I just made sure I was increasing volume over time. So, and I knew at first I tried to make it like I would train like an Olympic athlete. I would go so hard and I was there for a few hours all the time, try to do everything absolutely perfect. I'd done that for quite a long time, and then I realised that it has to be sustainable. So you're not going to keep doing it if it's not fun. So I started to vary it a bit more just to make it more palatable so that it was sustainable and that I would keep going. So across that first year I put on like £60, like 4 and a bit stone, and that was just that I set that 3,000 calorie goal. I put on a bunch of weight because I was lifting every day. I lifted about 6 days a week, I think, to start with, and like I said, at first I just focused on increasing volume. That got to a point where I was obsessed with getting my numbers up. Like, I have to lift as heavy as possible. I thought, well, I'll be stronger and I'll get bigger, so I have to get the numbers up as high as possible. And I didn't, at that point in my life as well, like prehab, rehab, warming up, stretching, I didn't really do much. I think it's only as I've gotten slightly older that sustainability has become a factor. I still want to be training in good shape when I'm 80, so from that perspective then, stretching, warming up appropriately, nutrition, rest, sleep, recovery, all of that, becomes a factor. But back then, I just thought, I'm going to eat and I'm going to lift and I want to get massive. That kind of worked. Anytime I stopped putting on weight, I would just gradually increase the calories. So if it was 3,000 initially, I'd put it up to 3,200 or 3,400. And I just kept doing that and kept doing that. Then about a year and a bit, I had put on about £60. For a long time, I just kind of wanted to sustain that. I was like, I just want to keep getting bigger. But then I started to I was stocky and well built, but I was getting a bit overweight, carrying excess body fat anyway. It didn't look in great shape. I just looked strong. I looked like, like a power lifter, or maybe like a rugby player, like someone who is powerfully built but is carrying quite a lot of excess fat as well. And wasn't boxing anymore by that time, so my cardio fitness had really went through the floor. I noticed, I can't remember what age I was, say, at this time. I used to periodically rip down for holidays, so if I was going to Ibiza with my friends, I'd want to get shredded, so I'd cut my calories down. But by that time I was already big, so it didn't really matter. As soon as that was done, I was like, I want to get big again. I think so much of like my body image was still tied into the need to be like big and strong. So yeah, I would just still try and pack on the size. But like I said, I think I got to like, I don't know, maybe some point in my 20s and I was like, I'm out of breath all the time, I'm out of breath walking up the stairs. That's when I started to bring the fitness element back into it. So trying to think when that was. You know, it was quite late. I was obsessed with being big for a long time. I think eventually, maybe like 28, started boxing again, kind of refound the love for it, and that migrated into kickboxing. And now my routine is really, really varied. I do F45 in the morning. I love that. I just blast away the cobwebs. It's that HIIT training. I do weights and I get my steps in. Now, like the numbers that I'm lifting really don't matter to me. Like they've come down significantly. I focus much more on time under tension, you know, getting the movement right, getting a really good contraction in the muscle. I run it much more holistically now and try and make, you know, my whole health regime a lot more comprehensive. So HIIT training, stretch every day, lifting, good nutrition. Like nutrition is so peak for me now as well. I think it's all a journey. Like I always say, wisdom has to be acquired, it can't be given. So loads of people said to me when I was bulking up, like, you know, eventually that'll get unhealthy and there's going to come a point where you won't want to do it anymore. It doesn't really matter how much weight you lift and, you know, who are you proving anything to, like why does it matter, or, you know, that squatting X amount is bad for your joints. I was like, I don't care, I'm tired of being skinny, I want to be huge. But I think eventually you get, for whatever reason, you know, comfortable, you know, in skin, whatever. I don't even know. But I think your just priorities change over time. Like everything in life, life is organic and it's fluid and it's transient. So, you know, I just past being a certain point, I just didn't care. I don't even really think I'm that big anymore. I think now I'm about 95 kilos, which is I'm a big for an average person, but there's people out there that are much bigger than that. But for me now, it's everything. It's sustainability, it's health, it's still being strong, but I don't really care less. Ultimately, I lost a lot of weight for kickboxing as well. I lost about 10 kilos for kickboxing because the excess mass was just making me gas so quickly. I had like one good round in me and then I was exhausted. So I wanted to be more fighting efficient. And if you know anything about fighting, then you know size is only a factor if you know how to use it. And past a certain weight and strength, it's diminishing returns. So you need to be athletic, you need to be fast, you need to be explosive, and you need to be able to sustain that effort across multiple rounds. So I thought, you know, this excess muscle isn't doing me any good. I need to get a bit leaner so that I'm more cardio efficient, so that I'm fitter, so that I can fight on for multiple rounds. So I done that, and honestly, I felt incredible. Like the losing the 10 kilos, cardio just went like that. Like I felt so fit, and I just felt like I could fight for so much longer. So it really depends on what your goals are, obviously. I just don't want to be someone who's 110 kilos but out of breath walking up the stairs. I just don't think there's any utility in that. I want to be fit, I want to be healthy, and I want to be an athlete, an all-rounder. So for me now, that's everything. That's weightlifting, that's kickboxing, that's F45, that's, you know, getting my nutrition and my rest on point. And really, I'm much more now. I mean, I want it all, you know, I want comprehensive, but it's about aesthetics as well, you know. I want to be in physique model shape all year round, and that's a process. Like, I'm not there yet. That's definitely a process, but it's just, I think, trying to stack chips in your favour. Like, I like to be proactive in all areas of life, so that is, you know, that starts with, you know, getting up, blasting out a HIIT workout, because that's going to have me burning calories for the rest of the day. It's hard, so I do it in a group setting. Then, you know, late morning I'll probably go to the gym, I'll do weights. Well, I will go to the gym, then I'll do weights again. Burns mad calories, gets me in aesthetic shape. I'll always get my steps in now. Like, that's been such a game changer for me. I used to just kind of dismiss the importance of steps. I was like, it doesn't matter, like I'm so active, it doesn't matter. But I've found that my condition has got far superior since I've been getting my steps in every day. I aim for about 15,000 a day. And then obviously kickboxing. Kickboxing in the kickboxing gym that I go to is the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, the level of fitness and just all round standards are so high, the group just drags you up. and you know the calories I burn there are ridiculous. Obviously, I'm in perpetual risk of getting my face smashed in, and I can and sometimes do, but for fitness wise, like there's nothing better. So that's really what my routine is comprised of now. So like I say, it's just been a kind of organic process. You know, initially I wanted to get huge, and I done that off of lifting as heavy as possible, as frequently as possible, and I just gradually increase my calories every time I hit a weight plateau. I probably went a bit too far with that until, you know, I was big and strong, but I didn't look great and I didn't feel great. And then that's when priorities come into it. So, you know, if that's all you want, if you want to be a bodybuilder and go and do bodybuilding competitions, more power to you. I respect the discipline, but that's definitely not for me. Like, I wanted to be a lot more functional, I wanted to be able to fight, I wanted to... Good aesthetically, I want to be fit and healthy and, you know, have a body that's going to sustain me until I'm 100. So from there, that came for me then. The priorities, we need to kind of take stock. And that's when I was factoring in, you know, much more cardio. Before I wasn't even really doing any cardio. So now it's high intensity every single day at F45. It's high intensity 4 or 5 times a week at kickboxing. It's lifting lower weight but with better form, and it's great nutrition. Like I still try. A lot of people like to eat intuitively, and I think that's fine, whatever works for you. But I track my calories religiously. I want to know everything that's going in and out of my body. Because I think what gets tracked gets improved. So for me, like, every metric has to be measured and monitored. I actually, for a while recently, I was trying to lean down a bit, and I had went far too low with my calories, and I'd went on I tried to just do like meat and veg, carbs, and then my ideology was that a guy I follow was like, you know, if you just get the protein in with a large volume of meat, it leaves calories to play with, so you can basically eat whatever you want for the rest of the day. But it didn't really work for me. I found without the carbs, I was starving, then I would just binge at the weekend, and I even found that on the low calories. I dieted so we could go on holiday a couple of months ago, and like the last couple of kickboxing sessions I done before it, like I was dead on my feet. My calories were far too low. I was down at like 2,000 or something, which for somebody my size is obscene. So now I'm back up to about 3,000, feeling incredible. I'm actually losing weight because, well, you know, that's probably still less than my body requires for the amount of activity that I'm doing, and I feel really well fueled. So like I said, I think it's about stacking chips in your favour, and it depends on what your goals are. So for me, I want to be ticking off all the boxes and covering all the variables to look and feel as good as I can, and that is sleep, stretching, training, nutrition, hydration. And I always as well just want to be looking just wee ways I can iterate, wee ways I can incrementally improve, all those things. Battery died there, so excuse any shifting in the camera. Yeah, so that's it really. Like, you know, if your goal is to get bigger, I would say set a high calorie level, you know, probably about 1.5 times what your body weight is in pounds. And same for protein, and just gradually increase, you know, every time you hit a plateau. But I think you will find along your bulking journey probably the same way I did, although not necessarily that eventually just being big isn't enough. You want to be healthy, you want to be fit, you want to be aesthetically pleasing. And then you might eventually migrate to a routine like mine, which is a combination of a lot of things. It's, like I said, HIIT training, kickboxing and weights. I also think that you don't realise how good certain healthy habits make you feel until you're doing them. You can just be coasting along, just lifting, you know, just eating a lot, thinking that you feel pretty good, or just anything in life, you know, just in a routine that is suboptimal and think, I feel fine. But it's when you add in the stretching, you add in, you know, drinking enough water, you add in getting enough sleep, you actually realise, like, wow, I feel incredible. So I think that once you've added in those things, you want to keep them forever, because you realise that it's not only about how big and strong you are, that you actually want to feel good too. And like I said, for me, like sleep, hydration, stretching, recovery, nutrition, adding all those things in, you know, adding in the cardio so that I feel fit. And then good supplements as well. AG1, like I feel like AG1's changed my life. It's so good. Like I heard all the promo about it, I was like, surely like no supplement is that good, but I just feel 10 times healthier since I've started using it. So I think that once you add all those other like healthy habits, healthy variables into your routine, you don't want to go back. So like I said, like it's all a journey, and obviously it's personal to each individual person. But personally, I have found that what started as a quest to be, you know, bigger and stronger has migrated to more expansive, more comprehensive goals. You know, wanting to be fit, wanting to look good, and I think that once you add in all the things that you know contribute to that, you don't want to let them go because you realise how incredible you feel. I feel now better than I ever have, and I think that's because I've invested in having an all-round routine. So that's it. That was my body transformation story. That's how I started. That's how I put on the weight, and that's where I am now. So hopefully that's helped some people, and let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want me to do a video on, fitness related or otherwise. Thanks for watching, team.